technicians are no longer a rarity in the entertainment industry. They have proved their mettle as producers, directors, cinematographers, gaffers, and sound designers. Today we will meet two budding sound designers who have made a conscious choice to pursue a career in sound designing with a degree in sound from FTII Pune.
My name is Amala Popuri. I was born and brought up in Delhi, but my parents are originally from Andhra Pradesh. My family has been in academics a lot. I'm the only one who is in this profession, and I've always been interested in filmmaking, and that's one of the reasons why I am in this profession, for the love of filmmaking. After I finished my post-graduation sociology, I was doing a short stint in writing, and then I shifted into television, and I did 2.5, 3 years of television work. That's when I took the exam of FTII entrance exam, and I cleared it, and I decided to leave my job and go to Pune and start this course. I've always had a great love for sound, and I feel that sound is such a subtle but organic part of filmmaking and a film. When you're watching a film, sound is such a subtle experience, and I relate a lot to it. I mean, everybody relates a lot to sound.
Shalini Agarwal, despite having a degree in English literature, chose to be a sound designer and joined FTII Pune.
Hi, I'm Shalini Agarwal. I am a sound recordist and sound designer. Basically from the north. I belong to Bareilly, that's my hometown. But I've spent most of my college life and my school life in Delhi. My father was in the Air Force, so I kept moving from one place to the other. I did my English honours from the Delhi University, and in my third year of college, I was just as lost and clueless as most people are as to what they want to do next and what kind of a career you want to choose. Most of my classmates thought they wanted to do an MA or choose a career in mass communication or study journalism. But I was still looking for something a little different, maybe a combination of technical aspects as well as creative aspects. And since I used to be hanging out at the sound console and with the sound mixer most of the time when I went for music shows and concerts, I felt that maybe this is what I want to do, and I should give it a shot. I should maybe study sound. I did a search on the internet, started looking for film schools and schools in which you can study sound.
Amala Popuri, who has worked on films like Amu, Mixed Doubles, and has done the on-location sound for Gajni, is quite confident of her career choice.
I've always wanted to go to FTII. I mean, since I was in school, I was crazy about watching films, and not the commercial kind of films. I was very much into watching serious films, and my father and my mother knew that, but they supported me in my watching films. But when I expressed the wish to go to FTII, they were not probably very excited about it. They were in fact very concerned. But after having worked for 3 years or 4 years in Delhi, in television and other fields, I had a very independent mind, and my parents never tried to stop me from doing anything. So I in fact convinced them to, have the faith in me.
My dad always believed that I should do whatever I really believe in and whatever I feel like doing. He's an IITian himself, and he chose to be in the defense services. So he must have had some dreams and aspirations for me, but then in the end he always used to say that you should do whatever you really believe in and whatever you really feel like doing in life. So I didn't have any hindrance from my family to go in this field, to come into this field. So that way I had their support. But once I started studying sound, once I started working as a sound recordist, my parents often used to wonder what exactly I'm doing, because I'm one of the only people to break away from my family and come into this field.
But they still thought that the 3-year course was too long for me, you know. I was about 25 at that time, and they thought that it would be better for me to get married. But they were very supportive, but they had the faith in me. So yeah, they were very concerned about, you know, the industry has a very bad name, and normal middle class people, they never used to think at that time, you know. This was the year 2000. And at that time, parents would never think of, you know, willingly send their children to work in this field.
Yeah, it was a little difficult to make them understand what my role was as a sound recordist. But now when I sit and watch my films with them, I tell them, okay, you know, this shot was taken like this, and this is where I hit the mic, and this dialogue is dubbed. So now they understand that, yeah, there is, sound has an important role in the filmmaking process, and I have an important role. So it took a little while to make them understand what exactly I was doing, but yeah, then once they did understand, and once Slumdog Millionaire happened, which is, you know, which I'm very lucky to have done so early in my career, then yeah, I mean, it also made them happy.
Sound has always been a neglected department until recent times.
For every sound that you hear in the film, there's a lot of work which is being put in by the sound editor and the sound designer. And there's a lot of thought which goes into it. Nothing comes just by the way, you know. There is a reason why this sound is there. You may not take notice of it. And believe me, good sound is less noticed.
Right from scratch, I mean, right from location sound, where the sound recordist has to make sure that, you know, you get each and every element from dialogue or ambiences clean to the next stage, which is editing, sound editing, Foley. If there's dubbing required, you go for dubbing, track laying, and then your mixing. Sound mix is where the entire film comes together, and that is the last stage of the filmmaking process. So as a sound recordist or sound designer, you know, one has great responsibility to actually bring the film together.
There are children who are just born into this new technology, and for them it just comes naturally. So there are various kinds of people, there are various kinds of audiences, and various kinds of films being made. So in this scenario, there's a lot of need for new people, new talent, and I would implore people to really understand that sound is a very vast and very interesting field.
The lucrative job offers and diverse opportunities available in this field have attracted many youth.
If you're looking at sound as a career, there are tremendous possibilities. There's film sound, there's television sound, there's sound for commercials, that is ads, there's independent filmmakers doing documentaries, there are short films, because these days there's a big market for short films as well. Then there's something called sound art, which is sound installations, just like there are video installations. So, you know, you can choose to be a sync sound specialist working just on location, or you could work in a studio working as a sound editor or a sound designer, or you could be working in a dubbing studio working as a dubbing supervisor, dubbing recordist. You could be working as the Foley recordist. So the possibilities are tremendous, but it always helps to have an entire knowledge of all these things.
We have lots of courses in Bombay and metro cities for audiography and for sound recording. But we must remember that this field is you need to be very flexible and very ready to learn. We are going through a phase where there are so many things happening politically, socially, economically. It's a constant turmoil and constant flux. That in such a situation, the filmmakers have a definite duty to express this in a proper manner.
A good sound recordist and a good sound designer knows how to combine the technicalities and the aesthetics. So apart from being creative, it's also important to be a good technician if you want to go for sound. And I don't really have a degree in or a diploma in electronics or physics. Like, you'll see a lot of sound recordists come from that kind of a background. I studied English literature. I only did science in school till my 12th standard. So, you know, coming into this field was also a little bit of, I wouldn't say risk, but it was my lack of technical background could have been an obstacle sometimes, but I have really tried to overcome that. For me, that was actually never a hindrance, and even if it was, I've tried to overcome it with hard work and study. You need to keep reading, you need to keep studying, because technology is changing every day.
Predominantly a male-dominated industry, the scenario has changed in recent years with a lot of women professionals joining this field.
Sound recording and sound designing and audiography, they are considered usually to be very much highly technical jobs. For that reason, maybe you find more men in these areas of work than women. But that fact is presently changing, and you find women taking more and more technical jobs, not just in film industry, in other industries as well. And so you have more women stepping into technical jobs in the industry as well. I've met many women technicians and many good women technicians, and I don't think that there is any such real I don't think there needs to be any such real demarcation of men technicians and women technicians.
Sound is not just about knowing the software. You know, there are a lot of sound softwares these days. There's Pro Tools, there's Nuendo, there's Cubase, there's Logic. Anyone can learn a software, but knowing anything like editing or sound is not just about knowing the software. It's a combination of your creative skills and your technical skills. So you need to nicely balance these two things to be able to create something, you know, for your audience. So yeah, follow your dreams, your passions. If you are interested in this field, read up on it, know what you're getting into, because a lot of people come across this term sound design and they think it's very fascinating, but they don't know what the process involves. So there's internet these days, everyone has access to computers and internet. Do your study, do your research. If you think you need an education, if you think you need to study film sound or television sound, give it time. You go and study for a year or two, and that's when I think your learning will become wholesome.